99 FM, welcome to Master Your Destiny Heart. If you've just joined us, you've joined us at the most opportune time because I have in studio the Sibandas.
Hello.
Benjamin Sibanda and Akalema Sibanda, and I call them the AKBs. The AKB Sibandas. Yes, instead of AKA, it's AKB.
No, I don't get it, Pella.
Because Akalema and Benjamin.
Oh,
AKA.
we get it.
On that note, welcome to the show, lovebirds. How are you?
We're fine.
You look amazing.
Thank you. You look amazing too.
We dressed up, apparently.
No, I appreciate it. I thought since, today we're talking relationships and love, you guys were going to match, but it's okay. You match in love. It's okay.
Our minds are the ones which match.
Okay, sir. So for those of you, just to give you a bit of a backstory on the Sibandas, they were scheduled to get married in May, if I remember correctly. In March.
April.
April. Oh, what? The months are changing.
It was April the 14th.
12th. 12th April.
Minus
Yes.
12.
The reason why they don't remember is because, as you all know, lockdown happened. And it all became such a dream. It was all a dream, and it was like, the planning and everything was put on hold. So the reason of Master Your Destiny Hearts today is to look at the new normal and how people are fitting into the new normal in their different roles. Because this is the first time you guys are married and you're newlyweds, but you're newlyweds under lockdown. So you were never given that opportunity to have your wedding, never given that opportunity to go on a honeymoon. Never having the...
We had it via the phone from some people.
It's true.
That's fine.
So just wanted for you guys to take us back a little bit on how it all went down for you guys emotionally and psychologically.
Ladies first.
Emotionally, it was like heart hitting because we've been planning since May last year. We paid the venue, we paid the dresses, we paid the suits, we paid for the food. We practically were done with everything. So it was just final touches here and there. And then we're seated in church one Sabbath, and we see a message come through, and so President Hage Geingob has declared a lockdown from the 1 and 1 of March till the 12th of April, and we're like,
but how?
Okay. Yeah, it was hard hitting, but there was an exciting part to it that we didn't have to go through the drama. As Africans, there are dramas.
Mods.
Yeah, so that part was like, whoo!
Thank goodness.
Thank you, Jesus.
But Benjamin, don't you think it would have been worth it? Because the drama is not only on the day, it's all along has been coming along. So if you have your big day, it's like, now there's a reason why this drama happened. So take away the big day and the drama that you've been experiencing for months and months and months. How do you resolve that? How do you come to terms with it?
I think also like the part where you get to see that it's your reality. It's fun for the both of us because our happiness is the one that really matters.
Yeah.
Of course, our families and our friends will come celebrate with us. That is what we had anticipated for the people who matter in our lives and the people whom we have touched or who have touched us in different ways. So that is the part that makes my heart sink at times, or makes our hearts sink because we did not get to experience. When you are growing up, you see these things. Oh, maybe one day, maybe not. But then when reality hits you, that's when you get to see. But it's really important though to have a gathering, because I'm forgetting this concept where they say a human being has got 4 stages.
Yeah.
We celebrate when you are born. We celebrate when you're married. We celebrate when you get your first job. We also celebrate your first child. We celebrate even if you don't have a child. We celebrate your life, and then when you eventually pass away, we still celebrate your life.
Yeah.
So it's part of the rights that is also important to us. So I think it is a blessing in disguise, because we would have gone through the stress and all. But I think the Lord saw us through.
Yeah.
Despite
all of it. I want to know how you guys handled expectations from other people. because your wedding day is not just about you, it's about family members as well. So now that day was not just taken away from the two of you, it was taken from everybody else who was like, hey, we're looking forward to the world.
Especially our mothers.
Of course. Yeah. So how did you manage their emotions and their expectations? Because they too were so disappointed.
I think because everybody found themselves in an unfamiliar space, it was easy for them to understand, because it's not as if it's not because we said Corona come.
Yes.
Corona came.
Yeah.
It's a circumstance beyond our control. So there was very much, everybody was waiting actually, because I think after Corona, the announcement, it took us like 2 weeks or 1 week to now inform everyone that we are postponing the wedding or to a further date. But the disappointing part, yes, for our parents, they were really looking forward to us, to it, to see their children getting married, for our sisters, our siblings, our cousins, and those close to us, they were very much excited. But I think everybody understood that it was a situation beyond our control. And I think the first thing that we have learned, even from the onset of our relationship, that we live by our own expectations. Sure. And not by people's expectations. So we needed to maintain our own expectations as well, but we also needed to understand where other people were coming from, especially those close to us.
Now, Benjamin, I wanted to know why, instead of how you went, because I know you went the route of, we're going to do it regardless, we're going to go through the courts and blah, blah, blah. What decision, what went into that decision of saying, oh, maybe let's just wait until Corona is passing, and then we'll see, since it's all born, we'll see how things go. You're like, come what may, I'm marrying you, you are mine.
Yeah, I think it was both of our decision that we made, because we said rather be on lockdown together rather than apart from each other. Because at times 3/4 of, actually not even 3/4. If I'm not with them, I'm alone. So let me marry my best friend. Because the good thing is that we have courts, and courts allow us to have that, as long as you have the blessing of your parents. That's the bottom line. Yeah, because I would have loved for my mother to be here, but by the time they got their documents ready, there was a lot of skepticism about whether, the rumors that the borders would close and all those things, how will they even go back? So it really just needed a bold step, because we are also adults. That's when we realized that now I'm an adult, I'm grown up. So let me make a major step, let me make the major decision. So we made that decision to go to the court and because the necessary paperwork was already done. So it was just mainly the ceremony and the pastor to bless. Although without a lot of people, we were just, how many were we?
We're like 4? 6.
Six.
Both our fathers were there. His uncle, my father was there. Our mothers went there.
That's the sad part, because I just wanted to chip in there when she was talking about our mothers, because I'm the firstborn for my mother. So you know how it is. I know the first time that she saw my face after she gave birth to me, she was glad. And I would have loved that the same smile to be there, because she has a cute smile, but it doesn't pass mine. So
Lemo, you're quarantined with your best friend, as Benjamin has said. How has that experience been like? Because you were supposed to, we're gonna stay apart, then get married, and then there was a transition, but you went from now we're moving in together. Okay, it's done. We're quarantining together. We're locked down in together. How's that been for you?
Amazing.
What's that?
I think what the lockdown brought to us was that we get to learn more of each other. We get to know each other even more. We get to dig in deeper into the character and the personality and the traits as well. And you learn to adjust to it. And I think most of the things that we spoke about in counseling, premarital counseling, that we did for like 6 months, 6 or 7 months, something around there.
6.
All those tools, we saw them come in handy because we're able to practice them and put them into place. You know how everybody always says, toilet sit conversation, toilet sit up, toilet sit down. We were like, in my head I was expecting that to be an issue. But then I realized there's a preference. He's male, I'm female, we have a preference. So it's really not that much of a big deal like everybody makes it out to be. dishes should be clean. There's a way that he prefers the kitchen to be. There's a way that I prefer the kitchen to be. So we have to meet halfway. There's food he prefers. There's food that I prefer. So it taught us a lot of compromise, because at the end of the day, I believe that marriage is about compromise and understanding. So we are learning each other's our spiritual journey together. Now we're combining it together. Our careers, our day-to-day lives, we're bringing it together. And I think the lockdown and Corona has allowed us to even dive deeper into everything. And we have a lot of conversations. Like, we sleep late, 12 o'clock midnight, and he has to go to work. I work from home. So we get a lot of our time together, with nobody around to get into that.
And how, just finally, Benjamin, how has that safeguarded your relationship?
Let me not say you. The introspection is very important. Self-awareness is very important. Because as we are going through counseling, that is when you get to see who you really are. If you are true in the process of counseling. Because at times you may think you hide some things. When you hide them, they have a way of coming out. You know, in my saying, there's a proverb which goes like this: an object with horns, you cannot store it in a sack. You know, it will finally protrude, and you will start seeing, oh, what is it that you're hiding in that sack? So eventually it will come out. So it's best to be transparent from the onset, not to say towards the marriage, but in the relationship itself. And the ability of being vulnerable to each other actually makes you stronger together. And non-secrecy, of course, and the spiritual journey that she mentioned is very much important, because if you're not spiritually aligned, there's a problem, because the devil is always in to fight the marriage institution from the onset. You know, if you are reading the Bible, you know that from Genesis 3, already when Adam saw Eve, just marveled at her. First thing, one of my points, it breaks into a poem. So with men naturally, when we see a person that we love of the opposite sex, we burst into a poem. So some of the things we are discovering as we are going, because in this institution there's no graduation. You don't reach the finish line. It's something that I've been told for the rest of my life, from my grandparents, from my mother. And you know, you don't reach the finish line in marriage. You commit yourself daily, even the counseling from my uncles. You know, the good thing about being African is that everyone is a counselor. You know, so you get that opportunity of hearing different experiences. And then you get what can work in your marriage, or in our marriage, we're getting what we think works and will give us better or best results that we want at the end of the day.
That's beautiful. You know, during this lockdown, things happened to different, couples. There are some couples that were really just torn apart by it. And then there are couples such as yourselves that were really brought together. So this one, either one of you can answer. What's the way forward? Are we saying we're still going to have our alilili, even if it's 2022 or 23? Are we still going to have our honeymoon? Or have you just let go and accepted the situation as is, and that's where you guys would like to be?
We are definitely going to have our wedding, or now we'll move it to the phase of vow in celebration, vow renewal towards each other in our celebrations. It's going to be quite different. However, at this point in time, we can't really say when, because there's so many circumstances around us that we have to consider. The borders are not yet open. His family can't come through. And it wouldn't be right for us to have a celebration without his family. So we are definitely going to have it. We are definitely also going to have a honeymoon as soon as the borders open. But for now, I think we're just keeping it calm, and we're enjoying the moment we are enjoying the moment of being the two of us and building our own culture, our own traditions, and our own rules and our own marriage, and just moving step by step, one day at a time.
One day at a time. Thank you so much, the Sibandas, for coming through to AKB. Really appreciate you coming here on 99 FM and just spreading the love around.
Thank you.
Oh, that's what I was waiting for, guys. I was like, I'm just gonna be quiet. We're taking in all of the praise,
MYD Heart was proudly brought to you by NHP.